Okay, Disney's John Carter is directed by Andrew Stanton, who's making his live-action debut. He's a Pixar guy, kind of like Brad Bird, who did Ghost Protocol, Mission Impossible. He did Finding Nemo and WALL-E, two of my more favorite of the Pixar canon. And so he's kind of coming in here, sort of doing a live-action movie. There is a lot of CGI in here. And basically, it's based on an old pulp novel series that has inspired a slew of sci-fi since. And it's about a man named John Carter who's living in the late 1800s, around the time post-Civil War. And his allegiances are kind of divided. He sort of fought for the Indians during the time of the Civil War, and so he's trying to be recruited by a character played by Bryan Cranston of Breaking Bad to join his side, and they kind of get in a spat, and then all of a sudden he's in Mars. And once he's in Mars, he finds that he's kind of in a similar situation where there's a civil war going on between two factions of Earth-like beings who are fighting against each other for unknown reasons. There's also sort of this Native American allegory with these four-armed green creatures.
Or something.
One of which is voiced by Willem Dafoe. And he sort of kind of takes their side, I guess. This is a really convoluted movie, and it's really kind of a hard movie to describe in plot points because there's a lot going on. But it's convoluted, but at the same time, I feel very simple. It's basically kind of like if you took a little bit of Star Wars, a little bit of Dune, a little bit of Stargate. And kind of just did a mashup there with all of those, a little bit of Avatar. And the reason that is because John Carter was a huge inspiration in all of those franchises, but that doesn't keep it from just feeling like a lesser version of all those other movies. I think it's a decent amount of fun when it knows how to have fun. I think it's like a 2-hour and 10-minute movie. I think it feels about a half hour too long to me. And there's some scenes where it kind of drags and kind of lags. And it gets so caught up in its own mythology and so caught up trying to tell you all the rules of everything that's going on, and this is called a this, and we on Mars we do this, and he's some sort of chosen one because he can jump high, but they don't really explain why nobody else can.
That's because he's from Earth.
Well, yeah, the gravity. I get that, but I mean, that should affect everybody else too.
Say bone density.
And yeah, so it's fun and pulpy in that sort of way as far as but I do kind of feel it's kind of low-end sci-fi. And it's, in the end, I kind of came out of the movie very much like I felt when I came out of Cowboys and Aliens, which is meh, it was all right. So I got to give it a C+.
C+. Well, I liked it a deal more than you. Okay. I'm going to give it a B+.
All right.
Mostly for the fact that I had fun during this movie. I went going into this going, oh, good, a sci-fi movie. It's got to be like Star Wars, because I think that's what its tag is like Star Wars of our generation. Yeah, well, because Star Wars sucks now because of 3D or whatever. Now, I was looking forward to this. I was looking forward to it. I didn't like CG aliens. That's the only reason I didn't give it an A, is because those CG aliens are lame. If you're going to have humanoids, why not just make them all humanoid? Yeah. Why would go through all this annoying thing of making them CG and then give it I mean, the voice acting was okay, but
yeah,
I think this would have been better, if they just, if they didn't have a whole race. Jar Jar Binks is proof that you just don't CG races anymore. It was cookie cutter. I mean, because you've seen it in everything else, but I really enjoyed it. That tons of fun. Good comedy. When he's learning that he can jump super far, laughing through that. It's got the mythology of it. It was cool. I mean, it was all kind of convoluted and trying to explain why Mark Strong was even there in the first place.
Oh yeah,
as
I forgot all about the celestial baldies.
Yeah, I don't know. The Jedi of this version,
the Sith
but they're all secret, and they can form change, and they don't even know about this other guy. A lot of weird stuff, but in the end, it captivated me. I came out of this going, I will buy that movie. So I've got to give it a B+.
Wow,
it entertained me.
High endorsement from you.
Enjoyable.
Okay, well, that's our show today. So today we reviewed Footloose, The Skin I Live In, Like Crazy, and John Carter, still in theaters now. So if you enjoyed the show, be sure to check us out on YouTube, where you can comment, rate, and subscribe.